This is Kathleen Parker from Red Tape Translation, and I would like to take you through the simplified ALGII application form. This is a form that can be used to apply for ALGII, Arbeitslosengeld 2, Hartz IV, social benefits, to cover your personal living expenses between the 1st of March 2020 and the 30th of June 2020. I usually help people fill these forms out online, and in my experience, going through the entire process of applying for ALGII takes about 90 minutes or 2 hours, depending on your living situation. Everybody fills out the main application form, and that's what we'll be doing now. But then there are usually about 3 or 4 extra forms to fill out. I am aware that you probably don't have the funds to apply to have 2 hours of personalized help going through these forms. So my suggestion is that you use this video to apply using the main application form. When we go through it, I will let you know which extra forms you need to fill out. If you tick yes to a particular circumstance, then there'll be an extra form for you to fill out. Make a note of those extra forms. And if you need personalized help after that, then you could book even just a half hour or a full hour. I've reduced the price of my life admin service during the corona crisis to €35 an hour or €19 for a half hour of my time. And then we can go through any questions you have if there are sections of the form that you didn't feel confident filling with the help of this video. These are special times. This means that the Job Centre is accepting applications by email. You can scan the forms in, you can sign them and email them to your local job centre. I would be very happy to help you figure out which job centre is yours and to give you their email address so that you can send your application away digitally. How exciting! If you found this video helpful, please leave a nice review on Red Tape Translation. We're on Facebook or Yelp or Google, or you can leave a comment somewhere on Reddit. I'd really appreciate it. I have been helped by another legal translator. Dr. Carol van Boeren has taken the liberty of translating the entire form, and so I am comparing my notes with her notes to make sure that you get a very, very good translation of the content on this form. If you're filling this out by hand, check the boxes with a cross, don't do a tick. You can leave this whole section blank on the side here, on the right-hand side. That is for office use only. So let's begin. Your personal details, your Frau or Herr. If neither Frau nor Herr apply to you, you can leave this blank. Your first names here and your surname here. If your name has changed since birth, put your maiden name or your former surname in the Geburtsname section there. Your place of birth, for example, the city you were born in, your date of birth here, and the country of birth over here. Your nationality, you may have more than one. If you have more than one, put them both in. I am Australian and Canadian, so I've put in Australisch and Kanadisch. Now, a note about your pension number, a pension insurance number. You may not actually have one of these yet. If you are a freelancer, for example, and you've never worked in a contract job, as in an employment contract where your contributions were paid, you may not have a pension number because you've never had any dealings with the statutory pension fund. If you don't know what it is, you can leave it blank. If you're a freelancer and you're a member of the Künstlersozialkasse, your pension number is also your insurance number. It usually contains one letter, and it's usually the first letter of your surname. So have a look on any letters you've received from the Künstlersozialkasse, and you might find it on there. Otherwise, you may find it on an old tax return. This is your home address, even if your business is registered elsewhere. If you have a CO or if your name is not on the mailbox, someone else's is, then put by and the surname there. Postcode, city. These answers here are voluntary. You don't have to provide a telephone number or an email address. However, if you're a little bit worried about speaking to someone on the phone in German, just put an email address in here and see if they might contact you by email instead. Section 2 is your family and your housing situation. Now, in Germany, if you've never been married, then you are ledig, L-E-D-I-G. That's this option here. If you have been married before, then you can't go back to being ledig, single, even if you are no longer married. Then you are either married, verheiratet, this one here, and put the date on which you got married here, or you're divorced, geschieden, that's divorced, and then put the date on which your divorce went through here. Your living situation. If you live alone, tick this box, and lucky for you, you can leave all of these blank and go all the way down to section 3 without giving any more information. If you don't live alone, then you live together with someone, so check this box here. Now, this is where more forms come into play. You've got some choices here. If you live with any of these people, then you need to fill out an extra form called WEP for each of these people. These include your spouse, your registered civil partner, your cohabiting partner. In Australia, we call it a de facto relationship. Someone with whom you have a relationship similar to marriage, where you are a community of support. If that applies to you, then tick that box there. You might have unmarried children between 15 and 24 years old. If you have unmarried children, but they're between 15 and 24 in your household, fill out Annex WEP for each of these kids. However, if your children are under the age of 15, that's this box here. Put the number of children in here. That this applies here as well. If you've got 3 unmarried children between 15 and 24 running around at home, put 3 here. If you, like me, have 2 unmarried children under the age of 15 running around, then for each of these children, you fill out Annex KI, which is an extra form. All of these forms you can find on the website jobcentre.digital. Maybe you live with a parent or both your parents. If you're under 25, then fill out Annex WEP for each parent with whom you live. And if you are over the age of 25, fill out Annex HG for both parents or one parent if you only live with one parent. Other relatives or in-laws, for example, grandparents, siblings under 25, married children, aunts, uncles. If you live with a family member or an in-law, fill out Annex HG for each relative in your household. Other people, this is going to be the most common box to check if you are in a WG, a flat share. List the number of flatmates you have here. Maybe it's 8. And if that is the case, the Job Centre might ask you to fill out Annex VE for all of your flatmates. I hope not. They will let you know. Moving on, this next section applies to you if you are renting. If you are renting, check this box here and put the date on which you moved in. Then put your cold rent here. That's your basic rent without any service charges. You can find this information on your rental contract. You will also find on your rental contract the service charges. These are for things like taking out the trash or cleaning the stairwells, things like that, maintenance. Your service charges without heating might be €100 a month. Put whatever it is in here. You can find this information on your contract. Put your heating costs in here and any other housing costs that aren't included in those 3 categories, put them here. Include your rental contract with the details of the respective due date. And if you want to pay the rent directly to the landlord, provide the landlord's payment details here. This next section applies to you if you live in your own home, a condominium, a house that you own. The amount of the actual monthly costs for the accommodation. So first of all, the interest on the debt without repayment rates. Now, what is this? If you have a loan, your bank will send you a table, and on that table you'll have your monthly installment, and a proportion of it will be interest, and a proportion of it will be the actual repayment. It's called Tilgung in German. And as time goes by, the interest will decrease and the Tilgung, the repayment, will increase, but your installment will probably stay the same. So put the interest portion here. Put the service charges here, for example, without heating costs. For example, this might be property tax or water costs. Put your heating costs and type here, for example, if you have electricity or gas, and any other housing costs put into here. Just a note on these housing costs. This might be a little bit tricky Your homeowners association probably sends you a budget at the end of each year or at the beginning of each year, and they might have housing allowance. It's called Huisgeld or Woongeld. It's like a body corporate fee. I think in Australia we call them body corporate fees. And that fee might include water and heating, but it won't include property tax because that's a bill that comes separately. So see if you can find a way to indicate all those payments using the information that you get from your homeowners association. You need proof, current evidence, and details of the respective due date. So moving on to the third page, which is where we put your personal details as the applicant. For the month of application, I've already applied for or received benefits from another job centre. Yes or no? And if yes, please provide proof. Or just list which job centre you chose. I feel physically able to work at least 3 hours a day. I do, so I'm going to tick yes. If you don't, tick no. I am a person entitled to benefits pursuant to the Asylum Seeker Benefits Act. Yes or no? I'm a pupil, a student, a trainee, or an apprentice. If you're doing an Ausbildung, you will tick yes, or if you're still at school, or if you're at university, otherwise tick no. And if you have ticked yes, then you might need to submit, or you will need to submit a notification from BAB or BAföG, and it might be a notification saying that you are eligible for student benefits, or it might be a rejection notice. Either way, include it if you tick yes in this box. And if you are doing some sort of training and you live in a hostel, a boarding school, a special facility for disabled people, or you live with your trainer who gives you full board or otherwise reimburses your costs for lodging, then tick this box here, otherwise leave it blank. If you are in some sort of an institution, or you will be soon, this includes, for example, a hospital, a retirement home, or a prison, then tick this box here, otherwise tick no, and put the period of time in which you're staying there and the type of institutional facility here. Otherwise just tick no and move on. So section 5, verification of additional requirements. You don't have to fill this out unless you wish to claim extra money for additional requirements that you have. Here are some examples. If any of these boxes apply to you, you can tick them. There may be an extra form to fill out in some cases. I am a single parent. I'm pregnant. If you're pregnant, provide proof of your expected delivery date. Your Mutterpass, for example, usually has your expected delivery date in it, or there might be a confirmation from your doctor that you received with the delivery date on it. My hot water is produced decentrally. For example, there's a boiler or an instantaneous water heater, and therefore I require extra money for this. If that applies to you, check this box here. I require a special diet, which is more expensive for medical reasons. And if that is the case, then you will need to fill out an extra form, Annex MEB. I have a disability and I receive benefits to assist me to participate in working life pursuant to Section 49 of the 9th Book of the Social Code, or other help to find me a suitable job, or integration assistance pursuant to Section 102 of the same social code book of the social code. If that's the case, then you will have a notification. Please include it with your application and tick this box here, otherwise leave it blank. I am not fit for work and I hold an identity card as per Section 152, paragraph 5 of the 9th Book of the Social Code with the marking with the designation G or AG. If that's the case, you'll know it and you'll have a permit. Include that in your application and tick this box here, otherwise keep going. Section 6. Now, if you or anyone else in your benefit community, for example your spouse, has any form of income at all, then tick this box, and you will also need to fill out an extra form. It's called EK for you and for anyone else in your benefit community who has a form of income. And if you are self-employed, there's another form that you need to fill out on top of this, and it's called Annex KAS. and it contains questions about how the corona pandemic has affected your business. So this is the one that you want to fill out if you're self-employed or if anyone else in your benefit community is self-employed. Assets. Now this is where things are a little bit simpler than they used to be. My household or my benefit community has substantial assets. What does this mean? This means you as the applicant have assets worth over 60,000 euros, which can be accessed immediately to cover your living costs. Other members in your benefit community have more than 30,000 euros available to them. Those are considered substantial assets. These could be current savings accounts, could be jewelry, it might be shares, life insurance policies. And if that is the case, you'll have to fill out Annex VM, otherwise tick no, and move on. We are motoring through. We're up to Section 8, My Life Situation. Now, there are benefits that you may be eligible for that would take priority over ALGII 2. If this is the case, I have possible entitlement to other benefits. For example, Kindergeld. This is a child allowance paid for each child in your household, or a child supplement, maintenance advance payments, unemployment benefits, pensions, housing benefits, training assistance, parental benefits, or maternity benefits. Yes, otherwise tick no. Parental allowance, by the way, is Elterngeld. So if you're at home with a baby in the first 14 months of your baby's life, or even, you may have chosen to stretch out those parental benefits over a longer period of time. If that's the case, tick yes and include your Elterngeld Bescheid or any other type of notification that says that you will be granted these benefits with your application. Otherwise, if you've applied for them but haven't yet heard, you can say, I applied for the following type of benefit. Tick yes there, otherwise tick no. If you haven't received any benefits and you've not applied for any benefits, just tick no and move on. 8.2, claims against third parties. I have possible claims against third parties. For example, an employer, a maintenance debtor, an injuring party, for example, if you had an accident. If you do or you think you might, tick yes and explain what they are here, otherwise tick no. So, Section 9, health insurance and long-term care insurance. Tick 9.1 if you are or if you were recently insured under the Public Health and Nursing Care Insurance Scheme with mandatory contributions, or you were covered by family insurance. If you've got a job, then this is the box to tick. Also, if you're in the Künstlersozialkasse, which is the artist's health insurance scheme, then this is the box to tick as well. Put the name of your health insurance company in here, and just a note, if you're in the KSK, which is the Künstlersozialkasse, the health insurance scheme for artists, this is not the name of your health insurance company. This is the name of the special fund that subsidizes your health insurance. The name of your health insurance company is one of the statutory health insurance providers, like DRK is mine, TK, Technische Krankenkasse, AOK is another one, AOK, BARMA, BKK Pfalz, for example. There are a few examples. Also, you need to include some sort of proof of your membership. Now, for companies like TK, you can just download a membership certificate from their online portal, or you can phone your health insurance company and ask them to send you a membership certificate. But what's even easier than that is just photocopying your electronic chip card and including it with your application. So this next option, I am covered by family insurance, and in the future I will be compulsorily insured by, and you've got two options here, the previous health insurance company or another health insurance company. This is what's to check this box if you're changing health insurance companies. And then down here, put the name of the health insurance company in, and please submit a membership certificate or other current proof of your health insurance choice when you change health insurance companies. Okay, this is the section to fill out if you are privately health insured, or if you are in the public health insurance system but not compulsorily. That means it's not mandatory. You choose to be in the public health insurance system. This is the option to choose if you are a freelancer. You pay your entire health insurance contribution all by yourself, It's called freiwillige gesetzliche Krankenversicherung. So if you're with a public health insurance company, but you're a freelancer and you're not in the KSK, this is the option for you. And if you tick this box, you will need to fill out Annex SV, Section 3. This is the box to fill out if you are not insured at all, if you don't have any health insurance, in which case you fill out SV, I should say, Section 4. So, Section 10, this is just a note. Persons under 25 years may be entitled to education and participation benefits. For more information, please contact your job centre or the relevant local authority. Thanks. 11, these are your bank account details. You have to have a bank account if you want to receive these benefits, usually. Put your account holder's name in here. This might be your name. I'll put in here my name. And your IBAN, it usually would, if it's a German bank account, it will start with DE. You can find it on your debit card or a bank statement. Okay, we're up to the 5th and final page. This big section here in green outlines your obligation to cooperate, which means you need to provide information correctly and completely. And if there are changes, so you've submitted your application and then something changes in your personal circumstances that might affect your benefits. You move house, or you receive additional work, you find a job, something like that, or you receive a massive payment from someone, you need to report them immediately to your job centre because this may affect your eligibility or the amount of benefits you are set to receive. All members of the benefit community are included in the application must comply. This includes everyone else in your household who is considered a part of your benefit community. So if you breach these rules, it could be that you return any excess benefits to the job centre. You may need to pay them back. You need to involve all the members of the benefit community when you complete the application, and you need to coordinate with them. And they also need to receive this information. You may also be charged with a criminal or an administrative offence if you disregard the above duty to cooperate. The job centre obtains information on income and assets from various offices by means of automated data reconciliation. Disclosed income and assets are therefore regularly disclosed retrospectively. Make sure your answers are correct and complete. Tick this box to say that you've received the leaflet and the instructions for completing it and you're aware of its contents, and that you will inform the job centre of any future changes, in particular to your family, income and financial circumstances and the extent of your capacity to earn, without being asked to do so and without delay. If you have a guardian or carer appointed by the guardianship court or the district court, tick this box and provide proof of the care order, otherwise leave it blank. Now, this is where you sign to say that your answers are correct. You put the place and the date here. You put your signature here as the applicant. And if you're a minor and you have a legal representative, then get them to sign here and put the place and the date. Holy moly, we did it. So, some notes from me. Even if you've filled out all the right forms and you've included all the right documents, it could be that you've missed something out or the job centre wants more information. It's completely normal. Don't be alarmed. Just cooperate and fill out the right forms. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you to Dr. Carol van Buren for helping me as well. And I wish you a wonderful Easter celebration or some wonderful days off with beautiful spring weather. And I hope to see you again soon. And if you need help or clarification with some of the answers or some of the extra forms, then you can book life admin through redtapetranslation.com. €19 for a half hour if you want me to check over your application forms to make sure you fill them out correctly, or €35 for an hour if you need more detailed help. I would be very happy to help you. I hope you have a lovely day. Thanks.